I'm going to share some best practices, do's and don'ts on automation. Let's start with some things that you should not do first. The first one is what we call creating a separate siloed automation team. The main goal of automation is to break silos and to remove the barriers between coding, release, and testing. With distributed teams, it is very easy to offshore all the automation work, like test automation, infrastructure automation, to some teams or countries in this case. Sometimes you can see that there is a pattern of building your features and software on site and moving the automation work to an offshore team. It sounds pretty good in theory, but with a specific team that has the expertise to automate and other teams to focus on feature development does not work very well in practice. This turns into a more bureaucratic silo that exists its own vacuum. This also eventually is followed by a blame game of teams in case of an error, blaming the other team that it's the automation that failed or was not done properly or the feature was built with bugs. Automation is something that has to be a team responsibility. The entire team should be responsible for maintaining and managing the quality of software. It is not developed as a part, like some people in the team are experts on automation and others are feature experts. What happens in that case is that you have a dependency between team members. This may create a problem when something has to be automated and then it has to wait in the pipeline for the automated team to be completed. Another important thing you should not do is to make decisions in one part of the team and assign the work to another part of the team. This actually creates differences between the team members in a team. You can solve this by doing a lot of traveling, especially at the project's pivotal stages, bringing everybody together for a couple of iterations when the entire team can sit down and discuss about the automation strategies, what guidelines to follow, what are the importance of having a stable CI build, etc., etc. These discussions can help to create a common understanding of the team practices and help to form a team culture based on automation. This also helps to prevent having teams at different levels. For example, one team sitting on site making decisions for everybody and assigning the work to the rest of the team, reviewing every other team's work, etc. This is not a very healthy practice to follow in distributed teams. Another common thing that you should keep in mind while doing automation is to prevent something we call as configuration drift. Configuration drift is a phenomena where the systems and infrastructure becomes more and more different as time goes on. This usually happens due to manually adopted changes and updates that are done on the servers without making these changes automated. Automation can help you with creating the initial set of the servers, but maintaining a consistent infrastructure requires to use an automation configuration tool. Such a tool checks the server frequently and ensures that the servers are maintained in the desired state they are supposed to be in. This ensures that manual interventions in the machines are reverted back to the old state whenever the tool finds that there is a configuration drift from the state that the machine was supposed to be in. It also makes sure that any changes that need to be made in the infrastructure had to be added as code and run from the configuration management tool. Another good practice that is followed when you consider automation is to look at non-automated code as technical debt. Sometimes you need to create a quick and dirty fix for a feature that is very important for the business, or when there is no time to automate the testing or other infrastructure dependencies for that feature, because there is an urgency from the business, a high demand for this feature, etc. We all have done these things and we will continue doing this in the future. But one thing you should be taking care is that we should be very strict on cleaning the mess we created and as soon as possible. Make sure that these items are considered as technical debt and handled properly in the backlog, which can be fixed as soon as possible later. This also makes sure that the right message is passed from the development team to the business that quality cannot be compromised, how it is important for the team. Last but not least is to treat automation code as production code. Automation code is also production code. Over a period of time, your automation code base is going to grow. And if you don't maintain the same quality checks and standards that you use to maintain the production code, automation code or your testing code will become hard to maintain. This will eventually lead to a situation where the team loses focus and interest in having automation because it is harder to maintain automation or to do automation than developing new features. So that is another very important thing if you want successful automation for your team. make sure that you follow the same coding guidelines and testing guidelines for automation as the ones you followed for development and testing.